Guess we'll get started. All right, I'm Sam. The company's axle.ai. We actually are, if you go all the way to the end, we're right at the wall there. We have a booth, number 1021. And we make software. And that software works with storage to catalog and manage the contents of that storage, specifically making video searchable and easier to collaborate with. So the underlying problem is that video collaboration is kind of a mess today. There's a combination of lots of loose hard drives, many of which have been manufactured by Seagate over the years, actually. You can't find anything. You may have many, many terabytes of media, but it is a very difficult, almost needle in the haystack kind of job to find the material that you need. And you have to constantly upload and download if you're using cloud services like Frame.io. It's a great service, but it's not where your media is. So then you have to either make low-reses and upload those into Frame, or you have to do the opposite and pull things down to your hard drive to work on them. Despite that fact, the number of people that are doing this kind of work worldwide is exploding. This show here, there's probably 70,000 people at the show. There are about 500,000 teams in the world that do this kind of work. Many of you probably do it yourselves. It's things like corporate video, church video, sports video, of course, broadcast and post-production. There's a ton of work being done, and the number of teams doing this is expected to grow to 1 million by the end of the decade, particularly with the growth of the whole creator economy. We're starting to work with more and more YouTubers, creative teams that don't even have any relationship with traditional broadcast. They're all about posting stuff straight to social. These are some of our customers. We have some very big brand names, but we also have very small teams that consist of just 2 or 3 people that have a lot of material that they're shooting and editing and need to manage. Here's an example of one of our customers, RTM in Malaysia. They're the national broadcaster of Malaysia, and they have Axle across 15 sites. 14 of them are on-premise, and the 15th is in their own cloud. And they synchronize between all those sites and use our software to help them find the material that is most important and most relevant for their broadcasts. We also have Coachella as a customer, the music festival. They're actually on this weekend. So what our equipment does for them is that as they bring in material, much of it 4K and 8K, they're able to catalog it and search it much more easily. Before, they would be looking around, just trying to find the file by what it was called, or how big it was, or when it was shot. Now they can actually analyze what's in the file and search by who's in it or what they said. The other big trend in the industry, and I'm sure you're all seeing this as well, is that what used to take months or weeks is now down to hours, especially with social media. So it used to be your boss might come to you and say, hey, you know what, we're going to do an ad campaign and we need some footage of a truck in a desert. And you would have months to plan the shoot, do the shoot, get the footage, bring it back. Nowadays, it's more like the marketing department calls up. They say, we need something quick for YouTube and we've got to post it this afternoon, or we need something for Twitter to support the CEO. These things are measured in hours. And that means that if you can't quickly find the media and put it to work, it's not much good for you. You might have to do a reshoot or ditch the product altogether. This is our team at Axle. We actually have 25 full-time people. We're based here in the US, but we have people in Europe, in Latin America, and in Asia. Even in India, we have a group of 3 people there. So it's a very global company, and we can provide 24/7 support, also in multiple languages. This is what the product looks like. Obviously, for a brief visit like this, I'm not going to try and do a demo, but the idea is essentially that you can find all your footage. Axle makes low-res previews, what are called proxies of all the media, and those become searchable in your browser. So then you can bring down the media if you want, or you can work in the browser. And in fact, one of our partner companies, Atomos, is over in the Central Hall. They're showing a version of our software called Axle Edit that is part of their Atomos cloud. If you're working with high-end cameras, you probably worked with an Atomos capture device. And what it does is it feeds up into our software, again, making everything searchable and easier to manage in your browser. So let me get to the topic of the day, which is this Exo's Corvault storage system that Seagate came out with a few months ago. This is a massively powerful system, and in fact, each of these rack mount units can hold more than a petabyte of storage. So for those who don't know, a petabyte is 1,000 terabytes, and that's pretty big. But not just hold that much storage, but it's also designed to be self-healing so that as individual drives start to have problems over the life of the device, it can figure it out and work its way around those. So it maintains a higher reliability and a longer life cycle than traditional storage systems. It's also very fast and obviously huge capacity. So what we've done is we've put together a bundle of this storage device with our software for under $100,000. You get 1.7 petabytes of storage, you get our media management and search software, you get the ability to tag automatically for face recognition, logo recognition, and object recognition, as well as speech transcription, all in a package. Because the big problem is if you have this much storage and this many files, almost immediately you can't find anything. And I'm reminded, I visited with one of the big studios some years ago when they first brought out software in LA, and the very second day that they installed the software, the guy was like thanking me profusely, and I said, why is it such a big deal? And he said, because we are able to find files that people dragged into the wrong folder 6 months ago, and we've been searching for those files ever since. One secret about large amounts of storage is that the Mac, while you can search your local hard drive, you cannot search a network hard drive. And the bigger that network hard drive becomes, the more of a handicap that is. So you can imagine folks with hundreds of terabytes or even petabytes of storage, they're completely lost. If you so much as drag a file into a folder and slip, you will never know where that file went again. And so Axle solves that, and of course much more for these media companies. So that's pretty much my presentation. Just want to thank you all for coming and open things up for questions.